Hello everybody, this is JP3 here, coming at you with another 100% casual run of Halo Reach on Legendary difficulty. This is our second playable mission, ONI Sword Base. Just to remind you really fast, the 100% casual run, as I define it, is one where you try to complete all objectives, clear all areas of most or all enemies, and using no exploits of any sort. So this is not a speed run by any means, this is more of a... well, casual run, I guess, will be the right word for it. So, 3, 2, 1, let's go. Let's get this started. So, you may notice early on in this mission that I take things a little carefully, shaking off a little bit of rust. Recorded this a while back, but right as I was doing it, I was just getting out of playing probably one of the other Halos. I would assume, since I did this in order, probably Halo 3 and ODST, so... like I say, I was shaking off a little bit of rust here, but the rust does seem to flake off as the mission goes forward. But this is actually an area that you do need to take a little bit carefully, unless you are trying to speedrun it. And even if you are, you have to be a little more careful than average. So let's get to the gameplay, folks. So here I'm going to try to zap this elite major, and I can't get it to happen there, but I do get a grenade on him and maybe a supercharge and a headshot. Yes! Get wrecked. So when this dropship shows up, you do need to kind of hang back, but I have found, and I just forgot to do it here, or maybe it was because that elite kind of distracted me. If you go all the way to the area over there where the sniper rifle, the developer place sniper rifle is, you can have a little bit of safety over there, and you can kind of draw the enemies away from this area, and I have in the past found them a little bit easier to kill over there. But the main fear here, the reason why we're hanging back, the reason why we're being a little nervous, is that elite major over there with the concussion rifle. The concussion rifle is the most overpowered weapon in Halo Reach, but only when it's in the enemy's hands. When it's in your hands, it's a piece of crap and great for speedrunning, but that's about it. But in the enemy's hands, it's quite a nuisance, quite a nightmare. Any little tiny bit of its splash damage will scope you out, and of course, as a whole and in general, it can do quite a bit of damage, especially when spammed. Of course, we know the enemy doesn't have to worry about ammo consumption, so they can spam it all day long and with no consequence. Of course, the Elite Ultra is also very difficult to kill. He's got a very strong shield. He throws grenades like fastballs. I mean, he is the reason why we are being slow here. That and, again, rust. Or I probably would have already tried to take care of him. But we've kind of picked slowly away at his reinforcements. We've isolated him now. And he shouldn't be too much harder to deal with. Now I'm just pounding his shields. Hopefully going to use the bullet weapon now since his shields are already kind of weak and take him out. And notice, no direct hits, just all splash damage gets my health down to a point where I need to get a health pack. Oh, I love the music. I love the music for this level, especially the starting music here. It is really some of Marty's best work. Come on, let's get in there. Let's get a bullet in there. Come on now. Ugh. That Jersey barrier. It's the bane of my existence at this point, it appears. Now, I'm going to pick up a sniper rifle for the first time in a long time playing Halo Reach, so... gosh. I don't remember if this goes that badly, but I seem to have a memory. I did actually watch this a couple of days ago, but I wasn't paying as much attention to this part, but I do seem to remember missing a couple times and being ashamed of it. That didn't kill him, so let's see if we can wreck this guy. Ugh, voice is ugly to see. Alright. I do know it gets better. It's just, again, the de-rusting process here. I was probably playing this a little too safe. Alright, so pro tip here, if you shoot this thing right as you see those skirmishers jump, usually you can kill at least 3 of them, maybe even all 4, especially on the lower difficulties. Kind of a cool little thing there. So I like to stick this sniper rifle, if I do pick it up over there, I like to stick it around here somewhere, because I will be coming back with a sniper rifle, and that'll give me a little boost of ammunition. I forgot about that, or I was looking for the best plasma pistol available and taking my sweet time doing so. But yeah, I'm gonna juggle the sniper rifle right there. Now here, what I want to do is I want to juggle the plasma pistol and the target locator outside of this room. My goal here is to take a wraith, so I am going to try and damage, severely damage, in fact destroy entirely, only one of them. So I'm going to try to get this one really fast. If you click on it, it will lock onto it, which is what you want. You just want to make sure, which you actually can't do, you want to try to make sure that it doesn't kill the other wraith. The wraith in this area, in this section of ONI sword base, is really, really valuable. Now I pick up the armor lock so I can do this, just in case I run into some issues with this wraith. It is a very, very accurate mortar that it fires. I'm surprised it isn't firing one right now, actually, but it appears to be focused on my allies, which is really nice. And you can within a certain distance of that wraith, and it won't be able to fire its mortar at you, accurately or otherwise. So the way to steal a wraith, as you may know, is to stun it with the plasma pistol overcharge, get into the turret. That causes the elite, the driver, to get out. He'll shoot at you, and he might peck away at your shields there, but he ain't doing nothing to that wraith, baby. It is solid. It is solid. It works very, very well to deflect almost any handheld armament. Of course, there is one exception we will talk about in a minute. Hint, hint, we've already spoke of this weapon, which does a surprisingly good job against the wraith. It does a surprisingly good job against everything, unless you're holding it. Of course, I'm speaking of the concussion rifle, but I'll get to that again when we come to the part where that's relevant. But most all other small arms are pretty ineffective, so I don't really remember what I was trying to do here. I know initially my thought must have been to get the invincible cat inside of that, inside of the wraith and on that turret, but I think here he got on it and I just said forget it. Who cares? Doesn't matter. Not really important. And I'm so annoyed. I get so annoyed very quickly and very easily dealing with the AI, so I guess I just said, forget it. Again, not speedrunning this level, taking my sweet time to figure that little thing out, what I want to do over there. So notice how the wraith is a wrecking ball against infantry and ghosts. You can certainly go with the Warthog, give your passenger a rocket launcher, the proverbial rocket hog, and that works well. It's faster, but all it takes is one nice shot from a Renovant, which we'll see in a minute. One nice shot and it will it'll kill you. You'll be dead. One shot. Also, the other enemies with their small arms can do quite a bit more damage against you if you're in the Warthog. Even if they're just hitting the tailpipe, it pecks away at your shields a lot more. Being in the Wraith offers you considerably more damage resistance. That being said, the Wraith also offers you quite a bit of, well, actually complete cover from direct hits. The Warthog, of course, does not. So we're in this nice little duel, not a duo, a duel here, but we win, of course, because if we can take, I think, oh gosh, maybe 3 or 4 direct hits before we die, the Wraith can take quite a few more from that mortar there from the Renovant. So we're trying to kill the Jackal marksmen that are to the left, but we're also putting pressure on the elites and grunts that are to the right and inside that structure. So notice the splash damage of the Wraith is doing a pretty good job. I'm not really sure what the heck Cat's doing. if I complain about Cat, I just want to make it very clear that I'm not complaining about her as a character. I am complaining about the AI, and that's it. So when I say Cat, I'm just referencing the friendly AI, not Cat as a character. I do not hate Cat. Cat is a fine character. I am only speaking of her in terms of her AI. So I am using the Xbox One DVR. What that means is I'm only able to record for 10 minutes at a time, so I have to stop and start a new clip. So these are all clipped together, but I guarantee you it is a single segment run of this level. So the main thing to be worried about here in this Wraith, of course, would be infantry throwing grenades at you. Their arms in and of themselves are not going to do a whole lot of damage, certainly not to the Wraith. So I don't know why I got out there, because I like to park this Wraith in a specific spot. Again, not only shaking off rust, but also making sure I know what I like to do back when I played this game quite a bit more. So there is I think, now I know what I was trying to do here. Since I had him in there, I thought maybe what I would do is, so I'm going to go get the rocket launcher early here for a reason that I'm not sure of, but I think what I was thinking is that since I kept this guy alive and took him with me, I wanted to get the rocket launcher. Oh, I did want to get sprint because I'm tired of trying to sprint and pressing the armor lock button. Only useful for that one segment with the really accurate Wraith Mortar, but what I was thinking, I think, here is that I was going to hand off the rocket launcher to him, let him hold it for me, and that way when I deal with infantry on foot in a bit, when I'm pressing buttons, I could have the DMR or another weapon available to deal with the small arm, because I do want to have all of the ammo from the sniper rifle and from the rocket launcher for the other sections of this level. So here's where the sniper rifle is located. It has 12 rounds in it. We will find another one that will fill us up in the other section where the AA gun is at.
Come on, jump in.
So he doesn't get back in, so that little project failed, so I'm going to have to get back out and give him my DMR and maybe take it back from him later. So sorry for all the annoyingness there. So as soon as you press that button, you want to get this Wraith out of harm's way. You will be a target for the concussion turret of the Spirit dropship, which, of course, the dropship itself is indestructible, but if you get yourself into just the right position, you have a nice shot on taking out some of these skirmishers and grunts as they come off the dropship, and somehow, some way, that beautifully accurate mortar only gets one kill, but we will try to mop up what we didn't get at this juncture. So the needle rifle can do some damage to your shields, but it does no damage to this Wraith. I mean, there we go. Trying to stop the grunts as well. And I don't like the grunts to be alive because of their ability to throw grenades once I do get inside of there. So notice how enough shots start to peck away your shields on Legendary when you're in the Wraith. Of course, if we were in the Warthog, we would have to be we'd have to be doing this totally differently and hoping that our AI was able to use the rocket launcher and wipe out all these threats. I think Kat said this is almost too easy. I think I heard that right. This is almost too easy. Oh, look at that. Look at that DMR. Look at where it's at. Perfect place for it. Beautiful. Because I know there's a grunt still alive in there, and I don't want to snipe him. I don't want to use sniper rifle ammo on the lowest enemy in this game. Lovely as they are as an enemy, they are the lowest and our best headshot with the DMR, as opposed to wasting the sniper rifle's preciously scarce ammunition. Preciously scarce doesn't make a lot of sense, but we're gonna roll with it. Now, if I didn't have some weird crazy idea in my head earlier, I would just get the rocket launcher ammo now. So we're gonna we'll get to moving a little bit faster as we move forward. So we do not need the DMR for the next section where the anti-aircraft guns are at, or the gun is at, where we turn it on. So we're good there. We only really need it here if we don't get a chance to mortar all the enemies before they go and hide in that building. So here I'm going the wrong way. I'm going the way I came because for the longest time I used to do the AA gun first. I can't exactly tell you why now I do it second. To be honest with you, there's some strategic advantages to either way. If you do this part first, then the second part is technically a little bit harder. Because if you do the second part, if the A gun section is the second objective you pick, you can pick whichever one at the first. If you pick it second, then there's an elites that actually are on a chain gun as part of a Warthog that I think might be disabled or destroyed. Can't remember for sure. We will definitely be disabling it and or destroying it when we get there, but they're not there if you pick that objective first. So if you worry about that at all, you may want to pick it first, because there is no difference that I'm aware of picking the communications outpost second. So that probably was why I went with the went to that one first. But with the Wraith and coming from the angle we're at, I don't worry at all. I don't worry much at all about hitting the AA gun section first. All right, we're gonna have to wreck this Ghost.
Spartan team, what's the ETA?
Again, not really damaging our Wraith, but certainly pecking away at our shields there with that sustained forward plasma cannon fire from the Ghost. The only thing you really have to worry about in the Wraith would be something like that, the chain gun. Bullets will get through to that armor a lot quicker and a lot more easily. Kind of the Halo damage resistance rule there that for the most part holds, but especially holds in Reach, is that plasma on armor, not real effective. Bullets on armor, quite a bit more effective. And of course, bullets on shields, not as effective. Plasma on shields, quite effective. Alright, so notice again, we've taken a lot of hits in this Wraith from a lot of small arms and even some Ghost forward plasma cannon, and we are still, I don't even think we're smoking or look like we've got any sort of damage at all. But like I was talking about earlier, there is one weapon, one small arm, besides the big power weapon like a fuel rod or a plasma launcher, or that really will do some damage for God knows what reason. This Wraith can take, I'm sure, a number of concussion rifle blasts, but you, while in it on legendary difficulty, can only take about 3 or 4 before you'll die. It's really weird, it's really stupid. It's yet another example of how the concussion rifle is way overpowered, but when in the enemy's hands. So notice how we took out the Warthog there. You could barely see it there. There was an elite gunner, and those bullets will tear up our armor a lot faster than the plasma will, so we took care of them pretty fast. There's the smoldering ruins of it. Now, I want you to notice where I put this mortar. It's very important to notice where I put that mortar. That is a place where the elite general with the plasma cannon, plasma launcher, likes to set up whenever he gets nervous. Sometimes he gets stuck over there. Now, when I say stuck, I don't mean stuck in the geometry or anything, but sometimes he gets a little stubborn about that positioning. And so every once in a while, when I've put some pressure on him from another angle, or I see him move towards there, I like to lob a mortar at that corner of the building. Every once in a while, you'll get quite fortunate and be well rewarded for doing so. Notice how I lob, again, right, now that was a miss, but it was near the edge of that where I want to put it. And again, you'll see me do it later on. Alright, so the Spirit dropped off troops. Here comes the Phantom to drop off 2 Ghosts. The Phantoms have turrets, but they don't fire them in this section for some strange reason, making it much easier. You can, of course, hit the Ghost while they're coming down off the Phantom. I didn't want to take my eyes off of the possibility that one of the elite Rangers would come and kill me with a concussion rifle, which is what happened the first time I tried to play this for this project. And so Get wrecked. So instead of taking my eyes off of the front, I just wait till the ghost drop and then put a Wraith Mortar right in the middle of him. And of course, you saw the result. Alright, so now I'm going to try to manipulate him and move him to that corner. Anytime I shoot at him, I'm not necessarily expecting to get a kill unless I'm shooting at that corner, and I think he might be there. Oh, come on now. You know, Alright, now we got him over in that corner. Let's see if we can't get him stuck over there. I see him. He's looking at us. Yeah. There we go. That's how it works. That's how it works. Try it yourself. It's not. It's once you start to get the Wraith Mortar aiming down, you can try to pull that off. I'm not saying it's a 100% thing, but it works. It's worked a lot for me. That's why I immediately went over and fired at that corner to see if I could hit it. See how off I was. All right, you do not have to come up here to hit the button, but I think just being a little bit anal, maybe a little bit too anal about my whole no exploit thing, I decided to go over and touch it improper. Alright, so notice how we picked up the sniper rifle ammo back there. Now, the Pelican here will drop off a Gauss Warthog, or Gauss Hog. Now, you can certainly feel free to grab it, get you a passenger with the rocket launcher, and bing, bang, boom, you've got Gauss/Rocket Hog. It's a pretty badass setup. But remember what I talked about earlier. Remember how weak it can be. All it takes is one good shot from a Renovant to kill you. Plus, the small arms of enemies, including the Ghost Forward auto cannons, plasma cannons, do a lot of damage to you, even if they're just hitting the bumper or the side. They really peck away at those shields a lot faster. But peck's the wrong word. They deplete your shields pretty fast. Plus, in all reality, as devastating as Rocket Gauss Hog is, you're putting your life, your strategy, everything in the hands of the friendly AI. If you've watched any of my videos, especially my H2 series, Halo 2 series, you'll understand that I am not a big fan of doing that. And so I try to avoid it at all costs. And of course here, yeah, Kat's nice on the turret there, but I'm not relying on her to get kills. I'm relying on my mortar accuracy, which is a little fair to Midland in this playthrough, but certainly I think now looking at it, knowing that I was pretty rusty going into this, it's better than I thought it would be. See, this is something I hate, is I hate whenever the ghost cannons like that, or a turret cannons, have much more range than your gunner's cannon. It's just kind of sad. They can shoot at me, but Cat won't shoot at it. It really doesn't matter, though. Again, my mortar is, that's my primary weapon here. So let's see if we can get this Renovant. Oh, and I did start to get frustrated using the Gauss Rocket Hog on Legendary when I my first playthrough, in which I died to a Renovant hitting me. And just once, my shields were completely full. I looked at it multiple times. I did notice that my passenger with the rocket did not seem to be as antsy at firing it as I remember whenever I would play the scam on Heroic. So I'm not really sure what went wrong. Now notice here we've got another instance. This is more of a random instance, not scripted, where if that Warthog is still there, meaning that you stole the Wraith or found some other way to proceed, then an Elite will hop up on the turret from time to time. It's a pretty reliable thing that it will, but of course, if the Hog wasn't there, he wouldn't do it. You definitely want to prioritize it. The Renovant mortars are tough on your shields, but not really on the Wraith. However, the chain gun is obviously going to be tough on both. So here I was thinking about going back and getting the Gauss Hog, because I can use it in the next section to great effect. However, I decided not to do that because I remembered something. I remembered that I still have one shot left in that target locator, and one of my favorite strats here, instead of going for the Gauss Hog, is to see if it didn't despawn, which it almost always doesn't. Nice job, nerd, with the driving. That nerd being me, but yeah, if it didn't despawn, then I can use it to do pretty much the same thing, but faster and without having to go back and get that Gauss Hog. So I'm going to see if it's still over here where I believe I left it, and it certainly is, and of course it has the one shot that should be there, since I only used it once to take out one Wraith. So as soon as you come over here, I'm going to juggle the rocket launcher and or sniper rifle. Here it's the rocket launcher because it's easier to see, and I'm going to make sure that I use this target locator to kill most or all these enemies. I think the best place to aim is a little bit more to the right and a little bit deeper in. I think what I was trying to do is maybe trying to get that, make sure I got that elite killed, but what ends up happening is you have one elite, I think, that was left alive, and I think that was my bad. I think I need to put that paint the target just a little bit further back and to the left. So I grabbed the DMR to make sure nothing else is alive. I will be taking the sniper rifle with me. So I am doing some juggling here, but it won't last forever. If it's an elite, then I will kill it with the sniper rifle. There we go. Again, the rust is starting to shake off a little bit, I can see. Now there is a Bob. He's in white armor. He's a very unique looking Bob. If you don't know what a Bob is, Google it. That can be here. He's always on ONI sword base, and he's either there, which we see him, or he's in another place that I'll show you. Now I'm going to put down the rocket launcher, and I'm going to try my best to get an overcharge on him and a headshot from the back. Get wrecked, son! Whew. He almost got away from us there. That would have been embarrassing. I probably would have started the run over. I probably would have. Now the rocket launcher, we have come a long way, people. We have come a long way since Halo Combat Evolved. It takes more than just a couple of rockets to kill these hunters. I mean, I think I get 2 direct hits on this guy, and I'll just, spoiler alert, we don't kill these guys with the rocket launcher. So now they are hiding, and so I'm relying on the nerfed splash damage of the rocket launcher to try and hurt these guys, because ultimately I've got my sniper as the backup. And of course grenades, which are going to do a pitiful amount of damage. Halo Reach, gosh, it's like they went back to Halo 2 with these human frag grenade strength, especially the splash damage. But I talked about that. Oh, well, maybe I did get one of them with the rocket. My bad. Yeah, I won't complain about grenades anymore. I already did that in Winter Contingency. That was just a flat-out miss. So I've got one more rocket left here. Don't know why I'm going to the sniper rifle first, except for to fool the viewer. I don't know. Let's get one right in his face. Now we're going to pick up a shotgun someday. I guess I was re-upping on the grenades there instead. But we're going to try to snipe his exposed body, because he should have some exposed body with all those rockets, and that's about as close to a headshot as it gets on those hunters, baby. That you gotta admit, that wasn't bad. Alright, let's get us a shotgun here. The underpowered, undervalued... No, it's not undervalued, but the underpowered Halo Reach shotgun here. Oh! Get wrecked, son. Alright, come on now. There we go. I'm not sure who's left over there and why the Hellcat can't beat them, because my god, I killed the elite. Well, they might be invincible. That doesn't mean the Spartans. That doesn't mean they don't suck, though. And I really do understand it's hard. I mean, if they make the AI too powerful, then what are you going to be doing, you know?
Where's our orbital support?
That's the risk you take whenever you make your allies, make the allies in the game equal to you in terms of their rank and abilities. Alright, now I come around that corner only when my reticle is showing, meaning the chapter screen or whatever is done. So I wait until I see my reticle, and then I come around there, because otherwise if I come around too soon, then I'll be afraid to shoot and the elite will go into cover. And he has a concussion rifle and throws grenades like fastballs, yada yada yada. You need to get rid of them, and get rid of them fast. Alright, so let's... Yep, we're Full on grenades. We can proceed forth. Alright. So we've got, you see, a bunch of elite a bunch of God bless, Jackal majors, 2 on each side, and an elite in the back supporting them. So we use our grenades. Oh, mama. And we headshot him in the face. So I make a huge mistake here. I forget that that is not, even though I've got the dot and the red reticle and everything, that is actually glass there. I actually make the mistake twice. Don't know why I did it twice, but I kind of want to get rid of the sniper rifle anyway. We're indoors now, and it doesn't matter how good you are at no-scoping or, you know, it's probably better to go with the DMR or the needle rifle if you get your hands on it. So yeah, here's the second time I do this. Not really sure why I thought it would work again. Ooh, let's throw a grenade up there just for fun. I think they're already dead. Alright, so we're going to sneak around here and kill these grunts the old-fashioned way here. Alright, so there is some really, really annoying crap that happens here. The annoying crap is totally and utterly the result of having friendly AI. So the problem with this situation is that there's friendly AI in front of you, which kind of messes with your ability to shoot the enemies. Now, I'm not saying they're completely ineffective here, it's just you're going to be better at it and faster than them. But that's not really the problem. The real problem is that I don't know when a grunt from another side of the door that I can't see might want to throw a grenade at them and kill me in the process. So I'm having to stay back. I either rush in or stay back, and right now I'm being a little bit safe here. See that grunt right there? If he throws a grenade at my guy here who's just standing in the way, taking shots, and here comes George. Now George is going to do the exact same thing. The only problem is that he won't eventually die. And as you saw there, I can't anticipate when a grenade is thrown at somebody else. So I'm ultimately screwed there, and I'm just essentially have to wait right here until see, my goal would have been to kill the grunts and essentially isolate the elite, kind of like we did at the very first, but we couldn't do that.
What's the situation, Noble?
So we had to do that in a much more plotting and much less suave fashion. Do that meaning clear this little room. Alright, so we're going to put down the shotgun because we're not in that close of quarters in this level, and it's indeed very underpowered still. So we're going to focus on the Jackal marksman. We take them out. Now we're going to use an overcharge from distance here because it looks like that elite is stuck. And bing, bang, boom, we're moving it forward. Now I want you to remember this. There is a magic line right where that Jackal is standing right now. If you cross it, you spawn the elite general with a fuel rod on the top floor, which means essentially you can't show your face anywhere near an opening anymore. So we are not going to go there. We can go on this side just fine, and we're going to take out these grunts just for the fun of it. And there's some DMR ammo to our right. You want to come in here and grab that DMR ammo if you want it at this moment. If you go past that magic line where that Jackal was standing, that line between that post and that wall, the corner of that wall, then the elite general will spawn and you can't go in there anymore without being fuel rodded to death. Now, one reason I'm being a little careful here is you have grunts up top that will lob grenades over. Not as frequently, but they will do it. So notice how I crossed that line and now you can hear it. You can even see the screen shaking, which is stupid, but anyway, it is what it is. So now we're going to come up here and we're going to get really, really annoyed by George. Again, same rule as I talked about with Cat earlier. I'm not talking about George the character, I'm talking about the AI who stands right the hell in my way and tanks all this damage. That's really not the annoying part. Taking the damage is fine. The problem is that I want to kill things and move forward. And every time I try to do that, he runs in front of me. Thus, the nature of the beast in this game. So, I see the elite there. He is literally looking at us and waiting for us to get in his line of sight. I pick up a slightly better plasma pistol than the one I had. And now we've got... So, what we have on this other end is we've got some enemies. An elite major and a couple of jackals. I believe maybe even a grunt or two. So we can't just run over there. We do need to run across that bridge. But if we do, we'll run into a pit of snakes, even if we don't get fuel rods. So we need to kill these guys first. And of course, they are taking cover because George is sitting there with the chain gun. And now I'm trying to get kills, and George is standing in my way. Doing very, very little, if any, damage at all. So I'm wanting to kill this grunt. I was wrong. There aren't jackals in this area right here. It's just an elite, and it looks like just one grunt, maybe two at the most. I should be able to run past at this point. Alright, thanks, George. There's one more grunt there. So now, once you kill the elite and two grunts, you run across the bridge. For some reason, George didn't draw any fire, but now what is he doing? He's standing right in the frickin' way. Now, I wish I could. I wish I could move you, George, just by asking you. That would be real nice. So we're very lucky, and fortunately, he's not blocking our path. And we can run past him. If we couldn't, then the elite, with the elite general with the fuel rod would have killed us. So now I'm just waiting for him to come out. He almost does, but he chickens out at the very end. So down here's where the other Bob would be if you did not see him in the courtyard. He'll always be down there if he's not in the courtyard, and vice versa. So now we're going to have to play it really careful and safe. This elite usually goes out to the part with the rocket launchers, but you never know for sure. You never know anything for sure, I don't guess. So I'm being very, very careful because all it takes is one shot. He fires it very accurately, very fast. He's very fast. He's crafty. He could be hiding in a corner somewhere, so I'm being very careful. So I'm just gonna... So I'm gonna try to get rid of these annoying jackals. Oh, goodness gracious. How about that rocket? So the only time I've ever died at this section, I played this 3 times before getting this deathless run. The third death was right here. The grunt on the frickin' turret. Do not take him seriously. Alright, so now we've got 2 spec obsoletes that were dropped off with that phantom, so we definitely need to make sure they're dead. We kill one of them, and I believe Emil kills the other. I don't think we ever see him. But because I didn't kill him personally, I'm going to stay back here. Now, one thing you want to be careful of is hitting that box or that idiot George with a rocket. If you hit them with a rocket and they're close enough, well, I don't need to tell you what happens, right? The concussion turret doesn't really focus on you. That's not your worry. Your worry is the grunt on the turret. But I believe he's already dead. Well, he's certainly dead now, so now we can move up with a little more freedom. I haven't heard any plasma rifle fire, so I'm pretty sure the other spec obsolete is dead. And of course, I saw the general die, so now we're free to finish this level off. This is really one of the best levels in this game. I don't think Reach has a weak level. This is one of the stronger of the 9. This, however, is probably why I wouldn't say it's the strongest or one of the strongest. I think that this section could have been done a lot better. I won't go into specifics, but if you want to see a section similar to this play out much better, go play NMPD HQ, a flashback level in Halo 3 ODST. That's the way to end a section with nearly unlimited rocket launcher ammo and a bunch of phantoms and aerial armor to kill. So that's it. We are finished with ONI Sword Base. Please like if you like this kind of content. Write comments and ask questions if you have any of those, and if you have any criticisms or any praises to give, if there's anything you want me to do or you'd like to see in the future for future series, please let me know. And of course, subscribe and click that alert button so you can get content fresh. Well, this is JP3 signing out. Thank you very, very much for watching. Goodbye.